everyone, and welcome to Let's Shop Cake Live with me, Tracey Mann. So here we are. We've been 2 weeks since we did the last one, so I'm back again today with some more ideas for you to be able to make with your cakes and your biscuits. So you know me, I've always got something new up my sleeve, so I hope that today you will see some new ideas of things that you're going to be able to make with our new cookie cutters, and also some of the new painting classes that have come out, and a brand new class that is coming out in 2 weeks' time as well, which we will talk about shortly. So this week we are going to be looking at some things to do with the coronation that's coming up as well, but also we are still looking at Easter, as that is now rapidly approaching, and showing you some ideas to do with making some nice Easter creations I'm sure that you will all come up with, and it will all look amazing. So we're going to start shortly with the online cake school. Just a word at the moment about postage. So we have got a little problem at the moment with postage up north, in terms of the fact there's lots of snow up there. It doesn't actually apply to me because we are down here in the south and we don't have any snow whatsoever, but we are obviously aware that there is a lot of snow up north at the moment. So if you are ordering from that direction, then please expect some delays this week. Also, on top of that as well, just to let you all know that my cookie cutters, they actually come from Scotland, and so they're stuck as well. So they are coming, but there's going to be a little bit of a delay there as well with the cookie cutters. So just bear that in mind if you are ordering from us this week, that we have some delays. Also, patchwork cutters, she also has snow. And who's the other one we use? Yes, the people that supply the cocoa butter, they are also up north, so there is a little bit of slowdown at the moment whilst the snow is around, but we will carry on sending out our post just as we normally do. So if you do place any orders over the weekend and you see something you like and then you come back and you want to order something else, we will combine the postage on Monday morning and you will just pay one lot of postage. So that's a good start. Good morning, Nikki. I can see she's logged in, so that's really good because I can't tell all my comments. It's quite difficult sometimes, but I can see Nikki's here, so that's great. So good morning, and good morning to everyone else that has joined us here as well. So we're at the slightly earlier time of 9:30 today. In fact, I could blame my husband because he doesn't listen to this programme. The idea was we were meant to be going out for lunch. Anyway, that's all been postponed till later today. So I could have had an extra half an hour in bed, but that's not gone right. So I'm up and I'm here, and we're starting a little bit earlier today. But that's fine. We can do this, can't we? It's going to be absolutely fine. So we have got a brand new class out today, and that is obviously on the Cake School. So we move across to the Cake School website. So let's just take that one down, switch that over to this one. So we have a new class starting today. So it's online, so you can log in and you can do it whenever you want to. For those of you that are members already, you will already see the class has been added to your membership areas. So for those of you that are gold or silver members, because this is a painting one, when you go to your Teachable account today, you will find the class there already. What class am I talking about? So this is a new one today, and this is called Woodland Meadow Painting. So by requests of a certain student, we've now started scenery painting. So we are now beginning a process of doing some scenery painting this year, and this is the very first one that we're going to do. So we are going to do this for the students as a certificate. So you are going to have to paint a few sceneries to get your certificate, but this is the first one that they can do in order to be able to get that certificate. So this is available this morning, and it is on the Cake School. Nikki's very kindly just put a link up there for you. So you've got two ways of being able to get this class. You can either buy it. If you want to buy it, then it's £25 to buy, and then you get to keep that forever. Or if you want to join as a member, then you're very welcome to come in and join as a gold member, or join as a silver member in this case, because this is a painting class, and then you will have access to all of these different classes. I have just seen the words that say, sorry Tracey, my fault, lol, and I can only guess that must be Donna that's now on. So it's all Donna's fault that we've ended up doing scenery painting, although having said that, it is absolutely lovely and I've quite enjoyed doing it actually. So we have got a few scenery ones coming out, but we've also got a lot more animal ones coming this year as well, which I've already painted, but they're top secret at the moment, so we're keeping that all under wraps. But there are 3 new animal paints already done and raring to go for the rest of the year. In fact, my entire timetable timetable for this year is full, and I've already completed the year with the exception of Christmas, which I know we don't like to say that word, especially this early, but I am starting it way ahead of myself this year. Normally it's something I do in September in a panic, but no, I've actually made it through. So I've been very, very busy. So this is the new class. So going back to this, you can either buy the class for £25 or join as a gold or silver member. So gold members have access to everything, which means they get access to all the cake painting, all of my cupcake bouquet classes, and also all my sugar craft classes, which includes airbrushing, royal icing, what else do we do on there, chocolate paste, and then the new class that's coming next week, which we'll talk, not next week, the following week, which we'll talk about in a minute. And they have their own Facebook group, which they're all very busy on, doing lots of bits and pieces on there. So access to gold membership is £12.50 a month. And then you have access to everything as long as you keep paying your membership. So there's nearly 100 classes now to choose from. So there are a lot of classes. There definitely will be 100 classes by the end of the year because I've already filmed them all. So I'm way ahead of myself. I don't know what I've been doing, but I think I hit January running and went, right, film. So I filmed everything. And then if you want to join because you're interested in cake painting, which is obviously a huge thing that I do. So cake painting is a massive part of our cake school, and you can join as a silver member, which means it's £10 a month, and then you just get access to all of the cake painting projects. And I think there's probably over 50 of them now. So there is quite a lot of course material on there, everything right from the beginning to the advanced stuff that we've got going on that's coming anyway. There's a few advanced ones coming. Scenery, I'd say, is probably somewhere in the middle. If you've already done a little bit of cocoa butter painting and you understand it, you'll probably get on quite well with this one. Don't be daunted by any of these projects. Sometimes you look at the projects, you think absolutely no way, and the lady that's on at the moment, whose fault it is entirely we're doing scenery painting, has done some phenomenal painting this week doing animals. So I'm telling you now that we can get you to a point where you are painting something you probably didn't even think you could ever do. And we're actually in the middle of a challenge at the moment doing two paints, which is one is Cherry Blossom, which is a lovely cake, and the dog one, which I do actually have to hand, so that's good. So we've had students painting this one this week. So they've got the opportunity to have a go at this one between now and April, and lots of them have gone, absolutely no way am I going to be able to do this, and guess what, they've been able to do it. So if you do fancy setting yourself up with a challenge and having a go at something completely different, cake painting is one of those things that you think, oh, no chance, I'm never going to be able to paint this. Well, I bet you I can get you to paint this. It's almost become a little bet with me. And if you feel that's too much, then we do have the beginners painting course, which of course is these four here, which we give you a lovely certificate at the end if you complete it, and lots of people have completed it, which is even better. So you will be able to have a go at that as well. So there's a huge amount of different course material. We also have things like the Highland cow. What else have we got on here? We've got the tiger. So there's loads and loads. Oh, here's the cherry blossom. So this is another one that they're painting at the moment, which again is part of a challenge that's leading towards some bigger certificates. So they've got a bit more painting to do yet, but it's early days and we're just building up towards getting some of these bigger certificates that they will be able to get at the end of it. A nice achievement at the end of it. So that's what we're busy doing at the moment. So if you want to join as a member, it's very active in terms of being able to take part in lots of different challenges and things, especially on gold membership. But if you just want to join a class and have a go as well, you do have the option to do that as well. So there's lots and lots of things going on with the Cake School at the moment, so lots to choose from. And in 2 weeks' time, we have a new class coming out. So let me put this one up. Let's find it for you. Here we go. So this is our brand new class that's coming out in 2 weeks' time. So 2 weeks Saturday, 2 weeks today. And this is the infamous cartoon style cake that's been around at the moment. So I've watched various tutorials. I've seen various things that you've done and thought, okay, I'm looking at it and thinking, yep. and I've done mine completely differently. So if you are thinking, gosh, I wonder what I'm actually going to learn on this, you're going to learn some really quite cool techniques that I do on this, some really high speed stuff that you'll go, brilliant, that cuts a load of that in half time wise, to be able to do this particular cake. I'm not going to say this cake is the world's quickest cake because the outlining does take a lot of time. However, there are some really great techniques on this cake that you will be able to learn and apply to other cakes as well. I really enjoyed doing this cake. I loved the way it looked. I would love to show you it in real life, but unfortunately it was actually a real cake and I gave it away to my friend and she's eaten it. So it doesn't exist anymore, but we have a lovely photograph of it instead. But it is a really, really nice cake and it is going to come out on the Cake School in 2 weeks' time. So that's going to be the cartoon cake. So for those people that are on Sugarcraft membership, that applies to you. And for those of you on Gold membership, that applies to you as well. So if you are already a member of the Cake School in either of those two categories, then you will get access to this class from the 25th of March. So that's a new trend that we're all going to jump on and enjoy because it is fabulous. I absolutely loved it, actually. I got quite addicted to it. That doesn't surprise me. I'm easily addicted to lots of things, as you clearly found out over the years. So I really enjoy doing it. So I hope that you will like to get involved in that one because it is a really nice one to do. And again, if you want to just buy the class rather than becoming a member, it's a £20 class. So you'd go in, sign up, and then as soon as the class is available on the 25th of March, we will sign you up for it. So it's ready to pre-order if you want to pre-order it, or you can become a member and then you'll get it in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, you've got woodland scenes to paint and all these other bits and pieces. So lots and lots of things to do. But those of you that are on the want to do the scenery painting and have the beginner's cocoa butter painting kit, the extra colours that you're going to need for the cake for that paint are moss green and gooseberry green, which are 2 sugar flare colours, and they are on my website. So if you are going to have a go at doing this particular paint, then you will need those as well. And also grape violet as well is another colour that I've mixed in there as well. So there's a few extra colours, just 3 that you'll need to be able to do it, the little tiny tubes. But that's all in the instructions anyway. When you download the course, you'll be able to see everything that's on there. But I hope that some of you will be inspired to have a go at doing some painting. It's very cold outside and we don't want to go outside at the moment. We'll just stay indoors and do some lovely painting. So if you are thinking that you might do some painting over the weekend, this is your moment to get inspired and have a go. And I think some of the scenes we've got coming up over this year, they're all slightly different. I say the next one you've seen is the beach one, which we showed 2 weeks ago, and then I'm in the process of doing another one at the moment. So we'll wait till that's finished because I don't want to make a promise in case it goes wrong. I don't like it. That does happen sometimes, you know. I finish a course and go, absolutely not, we're not putting that one out. So it's not all plain sailing. It is, for 9 times out of 10 it's not too bad, but yes, occasionally it does go a little bit wrong. So let's make sure we're happy with this first before we do that. So, but yes, lots and lots of things coming up. I'm straining my eyes at my timetable, which is sort of over on that side of the room. So the next cupcake bouquet, because obviously we've got cupcake bouquets for Gold members as well. There it is. This is our next one, which is the David Austin Rose cupcake bouquet, and this one will be coming out. When is this coming out? 7th of April. So this isn't long to wait now either. So this is, where are we today? 11th of March. So just under a month's time. This is our next cupcake bouquet. So this is now the 4th one. We have got 3... We've got a wreath and then 2 bouquets. This is the next one. Now this one again is another 12. We have got some bigger ones coming and we have also got some smaller ones coming as well. So there are some, and we've also got some ones that are presented slightly differently as well. So the cupcake bouquets are on their way as well. So that is going to be the next one coming at the beginning of April. So lots to look forward to. Lots of challenges for you, all possible challenges. I hasten to add, they're not impossible challenges. I'm not setting you anything you can't do, as they are finding out with the dog at the moment, when the ones that are painted go, can't believe I did this. There you go, you see. So if you want to join the Cake School, Nikki's been putting up lots and lots of links for you. You are very welcome to go over and have a look, buy the class or join as a monthly member. You will be very welcome, and it's very busy and lots of things going on. So if you want to get involved in something, this is for you, definitely. But you have any questions about it, you can get in touch with me via the website or this Facebook page, and I'll be more than happy to help you with you. And if you want to paint, if you're anywhere anywhere in the world you can paint, because all the classes are online and you can just watch them whenever you want to. So they're not at set times. I know sometimes people think, well, I'm in America and we're 6 hours ahead or whatever. These are classes that are pre-recorded, so you can just join them at any time that you want to join them. Right, okay, so we're going to move on now from the cake school. We're going to go back to Let's Shop Cake Live. There we go, and we're going to start looking at some of the new bits and pieces that I have got coming out. Of course, I've got new bits, I can't help myself. First thing we're going to do is have a look at patchwork cutters. So I'm on patchwork cutters on Tuesday this week. So I was meant to be on earlier in the week, and then everything kicks off as usual, so I didn't get there. So I'm going to be on patchwork cutters, I think Tuesday next week, but Marion will put a little thing up to say what's going on. So we have got some new ones. Oh, that's sliding. We have got some new ones on the website today. Let me bring these on so you can see them. One of them is a teddy plaque. We've also got balloons, and we have got teddy bears picnic as well. So there are 3 new patchwork cutters that have just arrived on the website today. Now what I'm going to do, because I've seen lots of people going, I don't understand how hard you need to press into the sugar paste and all these other bits and pieces, is I'm actually going to help myself by setting up one of the paints that I'm going to do on Tuesday, which will be the teddy plaque. But I'm also going to just show you how to paint balloons, because I think they will be fairly quick, so it shouldn't take too long. So the teddy plaque on here as well, it's great if you've got the picture, but sometimes when you look at patchwork cutters, it's a job to actually see what is going on until you've pressed it into the sugar paste. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So we're going to move those out of the way for the moment. So I do quite a lot of painting on cake boards, which I can then put onto a cake if I want to. So if I did this lovely plaque, painted it, and then decided to put it onto a cake, I can just attach it on, and then the person who gets my cake can then keep it, can't they? They can just take it off. So you don't always have to paint onto a cake. You can paint onto a board as well. Right, let's take that down. There's a bit of yellow on there for some reason. I've obviously been doing something with yellow. Right, let's have a little look at it. So let's take it out. So I've picked one, see the size of it on there, so I've got a bit of a gap going around the outside edge there, so that should be enough space for me to be able to roll out. And I decided to do a pale blue colour, which actually I started kneading before I went live, because I'd already made some blue up for something else, and then I decided I needed more blue, so I didn't quite finish kneading it, so I'll give it a quick knead now. So a nice pale blue colour, just kind of represent the sky, I guess, really. Give it a knead before we get going. Should be okay. I had nearly done it before we went live. I was starting to get into a panic. I was thinking, what time is it? So we'll give this a run through, like so. There we go. And then we will just roll it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Teddy Bears Picnic one when it's embossed. Now I'm not going to paint this one today. That one is going to, let's put that over there. Let me just see what I've got space for on my screen. Let me tip the camera towards me a bit more. That's better. So I'm going to roll this out. There we go. My camera's wobbling around a bit just while I do this. All going on. My camera's attached to my table, you see, so it wobbles when we roll things out. We're nearly there. So if you're doing a cake and you fancy doing something like this, you can always do it in advance. You don't have to do it at the last minute. I think people seem to go, oh, I'm going to do a cake this week, and then they get right to Thursday and they've made the cake, and then they suddenly think, oh, and now I need to do this. And the fun part, which is the cake decorating part, then becomes a bit lost because you don't have enough time to think about it because you're busy doing other things. Right, I'll just grab my smedger, which got trapped in the drawer. So let's pop that on there, like so. And then we just make sure that's... So I tend to do a lot of painting on pastel colours. I mean, I have done some painting recently, like on black, like with the tiger cake. But the last two paints I've done, have they been on? Yeah, I did one on pale green and two on blue. So yeah, they tend to be on these pale colours, especially with animals, particularly with animals actually. Right, let's cut these off with the plastic side scraper. So all I'm doing is setting up a plaque here so you can kind of see how to do it. Because when I paint on patchwork cutters, I've normally done all this bit. I thought, well, I'll just show you today and then at least people know what to do. So I'm just going around here, cutting it off. I find these plastic side scrapers are brilliant for this kind of thing because you don't cut yourself for a start. They don't drag. They're nice and easy to do. We'll just take our smoother and just make sure it's all, sometimes it shrinks back a bit. There we go. That's it. Now, moment of truth. Let's get this on there. So we've got a nice little handle here we can put on there. So all I'm going to do is place it onto the plaque to start with. I'm not going to press it down. Then I'm going to start pressing it down. Except what I should have done. I know exactly what I've just done now. You silly, what have I done? Yeah, I have. I forgot to take those bits off. Actually, they look quite nice there. No, we'll carry on. There's these bits here I should have taken off, but they look quite nice in that random position. So, Marion, I'm incorporating the entire design without actually taking those bits off. She'll probably laugh, but that's fine. Let's press it all down. So, we'll press it down to start with. And then what we'll do is we'll lift it off. See, I quite like those there. And we'll have a look at it and see what we've got. And I think the minute you actually emboss it, you can see it much more clearly. And this gives me now a really good line to be able to do my painting. So if I press too hard, for example, and it's gone down too far, if you take your finger and just go over it like that, just go round and round in circles, it will bring the sugar paste back up a little bit, because what you don't want is massive indents. You just need to be able to see the picture so that you're then able to paint it. That's all we're trying to do here, is actually be able to see it. So there we go. I've put the teddy plaque on ready. Now what I will then do is leave that to dry. You can paint it straight away. There's no reason why you can't do that, which I'm going to do in a minute. Or you can just leave it to dry like I'm going to do with this one, and we'll come back and paint this one on Tuesday lunchtime. I think I'm down to do this one. So if you want to see that one being done, that will be on Patchwork Cutters. But this one is called Teddy Plaque. Now be careful, because there is one called Teddy Bear's Picnic, which is this one, which seems to be made up of lots of different teddies and bits and pieces to make a picnic. So be careful. There's two different ones here, so depending on which one that you want to use. I'm going to have a look at this one in a minute with the balloons. So this one there is now done. I'm going to put that to one side, and then we'll bring in another cake board. I've got a larger one this time, and this one here, hold on, she says, what have I done with the paintbrush? There it is. Right, paintbrush that has the, so we'll go over it again. So this one is a bigger one. So that board before I think was a 6. I think this is a 7, just because the balloons is a little bit bigger and I wanted to have a bit more space. Might have to make up some more blue later. We'll see how we go when we get going with our new cookie cutters. I'll have a look at those in a minute. So we've got some limited edition cookie cutters today. That will make more sense in a minute when I show you what they are. And we are obviously still in coronation mode, so we have got a new cutter connected with that as well, which I think you'll really like. So we'll go through that shortly. So we'll roll this out again. Hopefully I've got enough paste to do it. Doesn't need to be that thick. I think that's the thing people need to think about with this. You don't need the thickest bit of sugar paste on here, but obviously for painting it does have to be on sugar paste. You can't practice on paper because paper absorbs cocoa butter, you see, so there's no good. You actually do have to practice on a little bit of sugar paste. So let's give this a roll out. Let's see how we're getting on. You see, not too bad. Let's pop that on there like so. And then once it's in position, you can even just roll it to make it fit. I do that quite a bit. There we go, that smooths it out for you as well. It's a double whammy. Pick that up, we'll take our plastic scraper again. Ooh. So this is a slightly smaller cake card, so these always are a little bit more tricky to cut off than the others. Let's go round a bit further, get a bit of traction going. There we go, off we go. Turn that round. I always feel like you're making a pie at this point. Yeah, I think the someone's made a comment about the teddy being suitable for like a Mother's Day card. I think Mother's Day, I think also something like baby shower. I think even happy birthday, it's quite generic. So I think there's definitely like quite a bit of potential for that outside of any particular sort of seasonal celebration. That's it. Got it. Okay, so balloons, where are you? Let's put that one back in its packet. I'll actually tidy up for a change. And then I've got balloons here. Okay, I've got quite a lot of balloons on this. Marion's obviously envisaging we're going to have a large amount of balloons. Whoever's having them. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to have a look in, I'm going to be nosy here and see what's in Teddy Bear's Picnic, just to see if we can find a character that could hold the balloon. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Let's see what we've got here. What's this? This is a panda. Right, let's see if that works. Can we make you hold your balloons, do you think? Yeah, look at that. It's not bad, is it? Okay, so that kind of thing. So you can literally sort of press your character down. I wonder if we can get it into his hand. If I move that across a bit, yeah, let's see if we can do that. Okay, so if I put that a bit more like that, let's take you off for a minute. Pop that there. So this is some sort of panda-y character. Marion cuts hers out on, I mean, she does do some painting, but I tend to do quite a lot of painting, as we all know. Right. Okay, so I press that in quite deep. That's okay. And then what I can try and do, let's see if we can get that near enough in his hands without that overlapping too much. I don't want it to overlap his face, you see. Let's have a look. Okay, let's try that. Let's see if that works. Even if it's close, we can always put in a few extra lines, can't we, to make it work? Yay, look at that. He's holding balloons, everyone. Love it. Right, there you go. So that is from the Teddy Bear's Picnic. That's the panda for there. And then he's holding some balloons. Can't go wrong with that, can you? There we go. So any of the little characters that we've had in the past, I'll tell you, there's a very sweet little elephant, which I will just grab quickly, that I've got holding a little flower. I mean, he's very tiny. I'm imagining that if he was holding these balloons, he probably would take off. But he's quite a nice character. In the Patchwork Cutter range, the whole range, there are lots of other characters that you could easily put with the balloons. So if you wanted to have any of them holding balloons, they make quite nice cake toppers, birthday cake toppers anyway. So that's something you can do there. So I'm going to just run through a quick paint with this. Let's move a few bits and pieces out of the way. I do try to remain tidy during a live. It doesn't often work, but there we go. Right, let's move that over there. Let's bring that in there. So we've got here the cocoa butter painting setup. So under here I've got my chrome food warmer, and then I have got a metal paint palette on top there. Cocoa butter here, various different colours that I picked before I came live. So we've got petal blue. We've got this colour called rose, which we're going to use on something else later on. White, red, yellow. This is gooseberry green, black, and then anything else we decide to add later on. I might stick an orange in there maybe just to do the balloons, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to run out of colours. Although we can always do different shades of colours. We don't just have to do lots of different colours. You could also do the metallic if you wanted to. Maybe sort of use the Wonder Dusts. They're really quite fun for doing different kinds of things. So if you liked the idea of doing something like that, you could do that. I'm just going to put a bit more black in here, as I've now randomly decided I'm going to start painting a panda that wasn't on the agenda to paint. It is now. So we just wait for the cocoa butter to melt. You can see it starting to melt over there. So I've got them on both sides. One side where it's a little bit darker, the other side where it's a little bit lighter, where sort of whites and things are. You can see I've been mixing paint over the last day or so, so there's some on there already. And then we use paint brushes that we use on my courses that have got numbers on them. I seem to have a huge amount of number 3 paint brushes on the go at the moment. I don't know why. 0, 1, there's usually paintbrush 2 in here somewhere. I've seemed to got 3 number 3s. Oh no, yes I have 3 number 3s and 2 number 1s. Anyway, there we go. So those are the paintbrushes we use, and the numbers work according to size. So when I'm teaching my classes, I can then say, please pick up paintbrush number 1, and then you'll be able to paint the right thing. That's how it works anyway. That's what my theory is behind all of this. So I'm just going to check my paintbrushes are clear of any other colours. So I'm just dipping them into the cocoa butter and just checking that there's nothing going on in there that we don't particularly want, which there isn't. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Everyone's got a reasonable view, so that's good. So let's have a little look at what we're going to do. So for balloons, let's go. Let's grab some yellow. We'll take the yellow and then we'll add some white to it. So we'll brighten it up a little bit so it's not sort of a flat colour. And then we'll literally just start at the top. So this will paint straight over the top of your colour, so you don't need to worry about the fact your background is a certain colour, because cocoa butter will cover it. So literally, now it's quite cold in here at the moment, so it's going to be setting very quickly by the looks. I hate it when it does this, but sometimes when it's so cold and you take the heat away from the cocoa butter, it instantly sets. It's extremely unhelpful, but there we go. Put some heating on, you'll be fine. Or just work quicker. I just tend to work a bit quicker when it's like this. So we'll just put a few yellow balloons in place. So this is easy to do, very painting by numbers type thing. It's that kind of vibe, isn't it? Painting by numbers. Let's go back up there and just do that little bit there. And then we'll do this one over here. So it's quite a nice thing to do. It doesn't take very long. You will obviously take longer than me because I'm rushing through it. But if you want to spend a bit of time sort of painting it more precisely and enjoying it, then you will, I'm sure, have much better results than me. It's often a bit of a panic to paint live, just from the purpose of actually getting it done. Okay, right, done that one. Let's do blue now, shall we? So let's grab some petal blue. Grab a bit of white, a bit more cocoa butter, a bit more white, a bit more cocoa butter. Just putting a bit more cocoa butter down in some sort of bid to try and, there we go, get it to paint without it setting too quickly while I'm doing that. Okay, you can always cut these out if you particularly want to cut them out. I just think this is a lot easier, it's a lot quicker than cutting out lots of individual balloons. But you do have the choice with this, and that's the difference with the patchwork cutters. You can cut them out, or you can do what I'm doing and paint them. So obviously I've been doing huge amounts of painting with patchwork cutters last year and this year. So there is an option here to paint them, and I do like to paint things, so you can understand why I'm painting everything. And it's not difficult, it is literally just putting paint down. So we do have a beginner's cocoa butter painting kit, so if you've not done anything like this before, we do have a bit of a all singing all dancing kit that will get you started, and that's also on the website as well. Right, let's go green now. So I've got my gooseberry green. We'll add in some white. Another colour that would work really well with this is spring green. Spring green is a lovely limey green colour. So if you fancy trying that colour, that's actually quite a nice colour to use. A bit more cocoa butter needed. There we go. I say this is a bit of high speed painting here, so I'm sure if you do it, you'll do it much better than me. But also it does show you that if you needed to do a cake really quickly, you can. There's a panic on sometime, I need to do a cake, help, then quickly do this one, because this will take me about 15 minutes max to do, because obviously I want to move on to do other things. So there you go, you see, it just shows you as well, you can do it really quickly. An instant cake topper, you know, that's what you want. And then we'll do, what have we got here? Let's do this pinky rosy colour, and we'll stick some white in there. I don't think I realised how cold it was until I started painting, and now I'm realising it is actually quite cold in here. There we go. So metallic dusts, think about using those as well, you know, like gold and black, sort of, it seems to be a bit of a party theme at the moment. That would look quite nice. You could always paint your colours and then overpaint them with dusts as well. That always looks really nice. We're going to get two the same together here. Oh, well, never mind. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He wasn't holding them deliberately, so they weren't matching. There we go. Like so. And then what we'll do with the strings that are going down there is we'll do those in like a dark grey colour, because I don't want to do those in black because they will be just too harsh. So if we just grab a bit of white with a bit of black and just make them light grey. Now I've got paintbrush 1 here, hopefully that will do it. No, it's going to be a 0 I think because it's tiny. Let's change down a brush. Let's see if we can do it with a 0. If not, we'll go back to paintbrush 1. Have I got 0? Yes, I have. Okay, so a much smaller brush, and that just slots into the strings there actually. So yeah, it is going to be this brush. So make sure there's plenty of cocoa butter on there when you do this, and they will fit really well. So there's no point in trying to do this in a great big chunky paintbrush. So if you don't have any brushes, get a set off me. You only need 1 set. Once you've got your set, and they are in the beginner's kit, or you can buy them separately, you will be set up. You won't need to do anything else. It will be nice and straightforward for you, and you'll be up and running. And you'll have the right brushes for the right job then, because there's nothing worse than trying to paint with brushes that are too thick, because you'll just end up hating it. And I don't want you to hate painting because you've got the wrong brushes, because that's just not what it's about. There we go. You see, they're going in quite well. Right, let's go down here. So again, I suppose you could write on these balloons if you wanted to, names, numbers, all those kinds of things. So if you wanted to put, you know, first birthday or Mother's Day or whatever it is, you could actually even spell out some names on here, couldn't you? There's plenty of space there to be able to write something else if you wanted to. Let's just take this down to the bottom. There we go. See, that's fairly easy, isn't it? It's not too difficult. So even though they look like the world's sort of tiniest little sort of strings, if you've got the right brush, the brush actually just slots straight into the hole there. So it's really quite easy to do. And then what we'll do is we'll have a very quick look at the panda. If indeed he is a panda, I think he may well be a panda actually. Let's have a look, check. He is. Right. So let's get this paintbrush going again. Sorry, things are sliding about all over the place here. That's slippery packaging. Right, let's do the pink first. So we're going to do a pink pad down there. Might as well start with the lighter colours, I guess. And he's got a pink pad there where he's holding the balloons. We'll have a look at this area in a minute when we've done it. Let's get it painted first, and then we can decide whether we need to do anything else. Then we've got a bit of pink here there. I don't think he's got a pink nose. I think his nose is black, so we'll leave that as is. Obviously we can't see that side of the foot, so we don't need to worry about that. So let's clean that pink out and we'll go to white next. Make sure we put lots of white in there. White sometimes needs 2 layers. Let's try 1 to start with, see how we get on. But if it's not thick enough, sometimes you need to go back and do 2 layers. I'll do 1 at the moment and see what happens. Go around his face, around his eye. Well, he's got a nice smile on his face, hasn't he? So that's a good start. There we go. Like that. Okay, He's still a tiny bit pale blue, but what we'll do is we'll wait for him to dry, and then we'll go back and make him a little bit whiter. Now, while I've still got white on my brush, I'm just going to put some little highlights on these balloons while this paint is drying. So if you just take a little bit of the white and just do like a teardrop, it just means that the balloons then look like they've got a bit of light shining on them. Stops them looking so flat. It's only a little thing, but it makes all the difference. Okay, there you go. Easy, isn't it? And then what we'll do is his stomach actually while we've still got the white here. So we'll do that round there. And then we'll leave that to dry. And whilst that's drying, we will do the black. So what we'll do with the black is we'll do black, but we'll put a little bit of white in there just so it's not jet black. So it's like a sort of very, very dark grey colour. So we'll start what we got here. So I'll start with the ear, just there. And this one here, a bit more cocoa butter. So this will obviously cover really well because you're putting black onto pale blue. So you're not going to be looking at this and having to go over it twice. You should be able to go over this in one. I'll just check I've got that bit in the right place. Yep. And then with this, we just, as long as you make sure you get into the gaps so that there's no blue showing, then you should be able to paint the rest of it up quite easily. Now with this bit over here, let's grab some more cocoa butter, a tiny bit white. We'll just have a look at this area here, but I don't think we're going to need to do anything. I think it will all just work itself out. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to turn that round a bit, make it a bit easier for me. You can always move things around, you know, you don't have to keep them straight in front of you. It is possible to turn things. So if you are finding it's difficult to get your paintbrush into a gap, then just move it. If it was on a cake, you would just be turning it. So it is the same thing. The only time it's a bit more tricky is if you're painting like the side of a cake. And then obviously you can't turn it upside down or anything. That's why I try sometimes to get people to paint plaques first, because it makes it a little bit easier if you can move things around. Forgot to do his eye, let's do that. Got that bit. And his nose is black. He's actually a very sweet little character, and as you're painting him, he's definitely, well, he's obviously not blue anymore, so he's looking a bit more like he should look, and that's looking really quite sweet, I think, isn't it? What do you think? Do we like him? I think he's quite sweet. So this one, the pandas come out of the teddy bear's picnic, so just be careful you get the right one. And the balloons obviously are balloons on their own. And then the one I set up earlier, which I'm going to paint on Tuesday, was the teddy bear plaque. So there's 3 different ones. I have got all the patchwork cutters. You'll find them all on the, well, not all of them, but I've got them. Ones I've painted anyway. They're all on the website. So you will be able to, if you fancy having a go at painting some of the other ones, then you will be able to kind of give it a go. I think he's quite nice because he's quite dramatic against the balloons. I think maybe that's why he looks sort of quite sweet. You don't need to worry about the lines as well, because the lines are embossed in. When you look at the panda, it's all sort of making sense anyway. Let's go around that side. And then across here. Isn't he sweet? I think he's really sweet now. that up. Now with his eye, you could go back and just paint that white if you particularly wanted to. I'm just saying what Marion's done, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think you need to do that. I think probably just leave it as is, because you can see what it is. But I'm just going to go back over the white again, because the white is, it could be whiter. And sometimes with white you do need to go over it twice. And we'll just kind of dab it on as well, just so it's a little bit more fur-like maybe. Dries with a bit of texture then, doesn't it? And on his tummy as well, under his arm. So white, you can always expect to kind of need to repeat white. But then you could give him a bow tie if you wanted to. I mean, there's loads of other bits and pieces you could do with him if you wanted to sort of play around with it. There's lots of different things you could do. But that is a very sweet and very quick paint. It's not a particularly difficult one to do. And if you can very carefully line up these strings that I've got here, which I've just about got away with, look at that. You can make him look like he's holding the balloons as well. So nice and straightforward, nothing too complicated. It's not taken me that long to do. It's taken me about 15 minutes to do in total. So if you do want to have a go this weekend and you think, well, hold on, let me order some patchwork cutters or let me see what I've got in my cupboard, then you could do that. And then you can always finish it off with lots of other things. Like I tend to get a bit carried away with things like sprinkles, and even the dotting tool is a good little gadget. I love my dotting tools. They're now back in stock as well if anybody wants those. And if you don't know what they are these little devices here with tiny little ball on the end there. And I like to use those to sort of create softer effects. So I tend to go in and put dots on everything. But I like dots. Dots are good, you know, especially when you're doing something like this. So, and even though it looks a tiny bit like snow, it's just quite a sort of softening effect, really. You cannot have enough dots on things, I don't think. So you can always put some dots on there just to soften the whole thing down. And then if you like that idea, you can then add in little hearts. So we've got little hearts in some of the sprinkles, for example. So we've got little tiny hearts there. So you can always pop those on the piece, because sometimes with something like this you end up with a few gaps and you think, oh, it's looking a bit, so if I need a few things to build it up a bit. So you can always put little things like that on, which just soften the whole picture and finish it all off for you. Okay, you can even put one on a balloon if you particularly wanted to, but there we go. All right, so you can do something like that, and then that puts it just makes a picture. The idea with the whole thing is you're just trying to make a picture, really, so that when you go to put it on your cake, you've got something nice to look at, haven't you? So put a few more dots on. But those hearts I will or would stick down with royal icing. I wouldn't just leave them like I've done them. You would need to get some royal icing on there, otherwise they'll all be falling off, driving you crazy. So definitely just need just a tiny bit of royal icing just on the back, and then just stick them down, press them into position like so. Sometimes when sugar paste is soft like this, because this, don't forget, I've only just done this, you can use a little bit of like sugar glue for things like that, as long as you're not moving it around too much. That should be fine. And we know the best way to make sugar glue is to use sugar cell. We've talked about sugar cell before. So sugar cell is a product that you can use to be able to sprinkle into some water and make edible sugar glue. It is much better value, cheaper to make using this than it is to buy a pot of sugar glue. A pot of sugar glue will be the same size as this and double the price, whereas this, once you've got it, you can think of how much sugar glue you're going to be able to make out of this. It's literally a pot and a pinch of water. So if you want to save money making sugar glue, get yourself some sugar cell, which is something we do have on the website as well. I like to have things on the website that are totally relevant to either my classes or very quick ways of doing things, because I just think that's what we need, isn't it? A bit of time saving stuff. So that's why it's on there. I'm just going to take that random pink one off there at the top there, because it's the wrong colour to the rest of it. On my sprinkles, Right, I'm just sticking these down because I know exactly what I'm going to do. The minute this live goes off, I shall pick this up and it will go flying everywhere. So I thought, well, while I'm here, I might as well stick everything down. So we'll just stick this last one down here. Let's get a pale pink one rather than a dark pink. There we go. Done. There. I don't do them all? Yes, I did. Okay, so there we go. So that's a really nice little one that you can do for a birthday, or you can do it for anything basically. So Mother's Day, if you like that sort of thing, anything. And there's the little elephant chap, which I'm sure you probably could put right down the bottom. If you fancy doing one that's maybe a bit more baby shower like, you could always use the elephant. So any of those three, and obviously this one I'm going to paint up on Tuesday, which is the teddy bears. What's this one called? Teddy Plaque. So this, whoops, I only dropped it there. That one is from Teddy Bear's Picnic. Balloons is separate, and that's Teddy Plaque. All right, so just make sure you get which one they are. And that's the elephants, which are very sweet, and we did the other week. Right, okay, so we're going to move on now. I'm going to leave that there just for a second while I just organise the next thing I'm going to do. So we are now starting to look at Easter and the coronation. So guess what? I've got some new cookie cutters for you, of course. So these are brand new today. They only went on the website last night, so they are new. So I'm just moving things around, because otherwise the minute I start doing something I won't be able to move. Everything will avalanche, and I need to make sure it's not going to avalanche on me. So we just move a few bits and pieces around. Right, let's get rid of that. Get some more water. So over the last, I meant to say actually, I'll tell you what I'll talk about now while I'm getting everything ready. So the last 2 weeks I've been recording TikToks. So I've been recording videos on how to make or summarise how to make some of these things that I've been making on Let's Shop. So I made these 2 weeks ago, and since then I've now recorded a TikTok, 2 TikToks actually, on how to make them. Now some people have been going, TikTok, what's that? I don't want to get that. Well, TikTok, to be honest with you, is an app that you can just download onto your phone, and that's it. So once you've done that, if you see one of my videos come up and you click it, you'll be able to watch it. Now these videos are very, very short. They are under a minute long, and it does give you an entire summary on how to put these projects together. And the reason I've made them is to try and help some of you when you buy these cookie cutters. If you go, I can't remember what to do, you can go and watch that very, very quick summary on how to do it. And it's been very, very helpful for a lot of people. And you can then follow me on TikTok, which means that every time I put up a new video, you will then see how things are being made. So there are videos that I tend to do sort of 2 or 3 different types of videos on TikTok. One of them is at wedding receptions. So when I go to a wedding reception, I tend to video perhaps the venue and the cake going up and various bits and pieces, which is quite interesting more than anything else. It's also brilliant for the bride and groom because they get to see a whole other side of their cake going in. And then the other thing I video on TikTok are these tutorials, and they are there to help you. So the app is called TikTok. We are on at Tracey Mann Cakes, of course, which is where you'll find us. But if you do see a video coming up, it is really worth downloading the app so you can watch it and then clicking follow, because then you will be able to see exactly what it is that we're doing. These have been incredibly popular. So these were the ones that we did 2 weeks ago. And then obviously because it's Easter, we did the rabbit and the chick, which we completely sold out of. We've now got them back again, thank goodness, because I was panicking at one point. There we go. So we've actually got those in before the snowstorm hit Scotland. So we've got the little chick and the rabbit. So they are new for this year as well. I haven't done TikToks on these yet because they're much more easier to do than some of the other ones. So the drip cupcake one, I felt needed one because it explained it and showed it much easier than some of these other ones, which you just cut out and add little bows to and things. The bow that I've been using has been the FPC silicone mould, which I had in a very safe place. There it is. so I didn't lose it. There we go. That's the FPC bow mould, which is this one here. This mould is also on Tiny Decorations. So if you've bought either of those two in the past, you'll find this bow is on both of those moulds. And then the little chick there. I'm going to do some things with him at some point because I think he could benefit also from a lovely makeover. So he will also be getting painted at some point. But today we're going to look at a couple of new cutters, one for Easter and one for coronation. So we're going to have a look at those now. We're going to bring in our new one. So let's take these out of the way. So we've got 3 new cookie cutters today. There's a large and a small in this one. And this is the Teddy with his Easter egg, of course. I am in love with my Teddy, clearly, because he's now featuring on everything. So this is the Teddy holding an Easter egg. So I'm going to put this together now very quickly so you can see how it works. So we'll just make up a little bit of royal icing so we've got something to stick the base to. The colours that I use for my Teddy are Autumn Leaf, which is one of the paste colours, which we do have on our website. It's a very nice Teddy colour. I love this colour. It's a sugar flare colour, it's a paste colour, and it's a very, very nice colour to use. So we have got large and we have got mini for this particular project. So I'm going to make the large one. I have made a small one and I've made it in a different colour so that you can see what it looks like. Sometimes demonstrating the little tiny things are quite difficult online. So I've gone for the large one. I'll put the little one there at the moment and we'll come back to that one. So let's put that there. So let me show you what this looks like. So this is going to be a bit of a limited edition because it's an Easter one. So it will be here for a little while and then it will be gone, but it is a really sweet mould to do and I love doing this. Don't mind filming anything connected with this Teddy mould. Right, there we go. So pop that on and we'll take our Teddy cookie cutter and we'll press it down, give it a little wiggle like so. I'll just cut the edges off around there, remove those, and we're going to take it, I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm just going to press it down and make sure we've got all the markings that we need that are around the Teddy. So his arms and his legs and the Easter egg that's in the middle. I made the Easter egg really big. We had a prototype of this come through about 2 weeks ago. So basically how this works is I have a very nice man in Scotland who gets all these emails from me going, I want this now. And I send drawings and I send all sorts of things and he makes them for me. And that's how this is done. So between me and this very nice man in Scotland, I come up with all the ideas and then he creates them all for me and prints them all. So that's how it works. And he sent me, the first time he sent me this one through, the Easter egg wasn't big enough because it was just a little tiny one. I thought, no, if you're going to have an Easter egg, it's got to be a big one. So we did have to do a bit of a rerun on this one, because it was meant to be launched 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't. So we've now got it. And he's got a big jumbo Easter egg on there, which is much more what I had in mind. There we go. And then Easter egg wise, let's go for the blue, because that's what I've made up for this. The Teddy may appear again at Christmas, but I'm going to try and control him after this. We might have an ice cream in his hand maybe later in the year, but at the moment, I know we've had a lot of Teddies, but this Teddy is an Easter egg Teddy, so he's rather lovely. So let's go pale blue Easter egg. So you can make this like a speckled blue one, or you can do any Easter eggs. As we all know, there's so many different ones. You could do just a plain chocolate one or all sorts of things. And we're going to pop that onto there like so. We're just going to press down. So whoops, so we know where the outside of the egg is. Around there somewhere. We just need an outline. Rough outline. Okay, let's turn it up. There we go. And then, so I've got a mark going across there. What is that? I might have to redo that because there's a mark going across my Easter egg. I don't want that. Let's do it again. Not that I'm fussy at all, but I might be. There we go. So I'm going to pop that on there. We'll press down again. I'll put some icing sugar on my fingers to stop this sticking to me. Hopefully this time we'll have got it right. That's better. And then I'm just going to take hold of a cutting wheel and I'm just going to come down here, round his feet, across the bottom. Around this side. There we go. So I've got it right up high on his face because I thought it looked, I wanted him to have a super big Easter egg. That was the plan anyway. Right, I'm just going to put a little bit of water on there. We'll pop that on. There it is. Lovely. Right, now I was going to have some yellow. Wasn't I going to do yellow? Yes. Let me just get my, I've got yellow made up. Nope. So I'll make a bit of yellow up. Thought I was being organised and done the yellow, but I haven't, so I'll do that now. Just grab a little bit of sugar paste. Don't need much, just a little tiny bit. I seem to put it in the world's smallest packet, which is not helping me. Can't even blame Kelly, she's not here. Why did I put it in that bag? I don't know. Anyway, I've done it now. Right, little bit of lemon or yellow, doesn't really matter, anything really. I want it to be quite strong. Have I got any in here? Let me just get this out. Yes, I have. I'll probably have bright yellow hands now for the rest of the dem, but never mind. That's okay, we don't mind. So just dye that. A little bit of bright yellow. Like so. There we go, might as well go full yellow. Now I'm using Massaccino, which is quite a strong sugar paste, so very sort of tough. It can sort of tolerate lots of moulds and things, but if you aren't using that, you're probably better off using Saraceno, which is a modelling paste, which is on the website, much better for doing things like that. These moulds can be tricky with sugar paste. If it's not a particularly good one, I can just about get away with it with this one. So pop that in there like so. So this is the FPC bow mould. We'll just take that out. Okay, like so. And we'll take this and then we'll just roll ourselves a little strip. Just take the cutting wheel and there you go, like so. And paintbrush, one that's not, hopefully one that's water, there we go. And we'll just put that across there like so. And we'll stick that down. We'll just cut this to size. We don't need to do anything specific here. We can just cut that with our cutting wheel, hopefully. There we go. There we go. And then we'll stick the bow on in the middle. Right, now while we're waiting for, we're going to have to wait for these eyes to dry, so let's do those now while it's we've got some time on our hands. So we're just going to take some of the white, and again we're just going to paint the eyes. Let's turn it round. A little bit of white cocoa butter if that's what you want to do. So turn it round so you can get inside the little nooks and crannies with everything. Like that. And then we can leave that to dry before we put in the next bit of the eyes, because the eyes are a bit of a process, so we need to wait for those to dry. Got a bit of white on my brush, so I'm just going to mix that in with a tiny bit of this petal blue colour. I'm just going to put a little bit of blue in his ears just to kind of match the Easter egg really. okay, like so. And then we'll do his arms and his feet while they're drying. So we'll just take hold of a blob of paste and then just roll it into, actually we'll take a little bit out of those, just roll it into 2 balls. If you hold it in the same, in your hands like this, you should be able to feel if they're the same size. I can usually work it out. If not, roll out a piece of paste and cut it in half. That's the other way of doing it. So we'll just roll those round like so. Grab hold of a bit of royal icing on this case, just to make sure there's a bit of glue going on in there. And then before you put it on, just flatten it down a little bit. Let's turn it over. So just pop that in position, like so. And then we'll do the same with this one. Put that on there like that. There's his feet. Now I'll go back to his eyes for a second, because I think they now will have dried. They have. So we're going to take hold of one of these tools here, which is a very large sort of ball tool, and I'm just going to put this into the blue, petal blue dust. Press down. Put that in the middle there, okay, and then we can leave that to dry and we can carry on. You have to kind of keep going back to these things, because obviously they need a little bit of time to dry. So you do have to go, right, and now do this. So the other way of doing this is, obviously if you get a bit like this, you can then cut it in half. And then that should give you equal sizes, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. These, give it a bit of a roll. Check what it's doing. Yeah, feels okay. Again, we'll take a little bit of royal icing on there, and then we'll just take hold of the hand and we'll just narrow it down one side, pop that in there like that, because we want him to look like he's holding it. Same on the other side. So pop that on there. There you go. He's got his Easter egg, and absolutely no one is going to get their hands on it, I think. Then I'm going to just take my dotting tool and just put some little dots on the Easter egg. So just to remind you again, the dotting tools which we had run out of are now back in stock again. So I have changed the dotting tool list, because we have like a stock list on it, but it's now back in stock again, so that's good. So I'll put a few dots on there. You can make this like a speckled like blue egg if you wanted to, so you could always change the colours that way. There's all sorts of different things you can do with it. Imagine the Easter eggs you can make on here. Pale green ones, or say this could just be an entire chocolate egg. You could just do it in brown sugar paste and that would be done then, wouldn't it? So that would be nice and easy. Let's go back to the eyes. Are these dry yet? Almost. And we'll pick up some black on the other end of this one this time. Sorry, that noise is a little bit like a blackboard, isn't it? Let's it always happens, doesn't it? Right, let me mix up a little bit more paint. That's why I'm just running out of paint. There we go. Got a bit more going there. Let's put that out the way. Ooh, that noise. Ooh. Okay, right, let's go in the centre. So you just have to wait for them to dry as you go along. All right, and then we'll go back to what have we got here, paintbrush 1, and we'll just paint his nose. Now you can either kind of hide his smile behind the Easter egg, or you can put it just above. It's entirely up to you. I did actually put mine just slightly above, but it's up to you. If you want him to be kind of more hiding behind the Easter egg, then don't. Let's get that bit there. He's got a very pointy nose at the moment. There we go. It's better. And then take your brush again. I need a bit more. I think might have the candle's gone out. Let me have a look. Oh no, it's okay. And then just take the tip of your brush and just do a little smile. Like that. Then we'll go back to making up like a lighter grey colour, because we don't want it to be too black. and then we'll just come around here with our paintbrush one again, and we'll just put a little bit of an outline. I'm always a bit nervous to say you don't do this in black, because otherwise you'll end up with them looking like they're wearing goggles, and don't do the whole thing either, just do the side. Can come across the bottom a little bit like that, turn it upside down. Again, start from sort of the midway point, go down and just put some eyelashes in across the bottom like that. Turn it round, and then we'll take some heart sprinkles again. These have come back in again, and then what we'll do is we will take some royal icing, and we'll just put a little blob on the end of his feet. This is where I think it was getting a bit Care Bear like, you know what I mean? I was starting to get a bit carried away here, so put some little heart things on his feet. And then we'll go back to the white and the dotting tool, and we'll just take the end of the dotting tool like so, and we'll just put a little tiny white highlight in his eye. There we go. Immediately changes it. That white is crucial. It is the most important bit you've got to do on the whole leg. And then he has a little bit on his nose as well, and suddenly he is alive and he looks transformed, completely different from what he was looking at without the little white spot in his eye. So there you go. So that is the new Easter egg. Oh, I forgot his cheeks. Hold on a minute, backtrack quickly. Let me do his cheeks. He's not complete without his cheeks. Right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of rose colour, so it's called rose, mix it with white, and then I did a little bit of blush on his cheeks. Not too much. That's better. The minute I looked at him, thought I've missed something here. What have I missed? There we go. Right, now he's got his blusher on. He looks very, he's looking like he's been caught with his Easter egg, naughty. So this is the large one of the limited edition teddy with Easter eggs. Obviously he's not going to be around very long because it's Easter coming and we don't want to keep him all year round. And then we have the mini version as well, and I've made up a mini one, and I've made this one in a different colour, so you can kind of get a bit more of an idea of what you can do with different things. So I basically just went along the lines a little bit of Care Bears, and I looked at the colours. There's lots of pastel kind of coloured bears, and obviously you can apply this to the whole range of bears that we've got. So if you wanted to do not just bear colours, but you could do the grey, which we did the other week with the mum, and then obviously we've got the mini birthday bear, and also the one with a little heart, which has been immensely popular, which you can paint in all sorts of different ways. So let's bring some of the other teddies in here so you can see. We've got a whole family going on here now, haven't we? So that's the mini one, the mini Easter egg. This is the heart one, and again these hearts were decorated in a slightly different way. And then we've got the birthday cake one here, which also comes in large and small. I've got a small one next to me, let me grab that. There's the small birthday. This is also available in small as well, so, or mini. They're called minis. I have labelled them up on the website as best as I possibly can, written the word large and the word mini next to them so you can actually see which ones they are. Sometimes it's a bit of an optical illusion when you're looking at something online and then it turns up and it's tiny. So to try and make sure you actually get the right ones. So far, so good. Everybody seems to have got the one they particularly want, so please just keep an eye on that and make sure that that's what you get. So these ones are also done in this kind of cartoon style that are out at the moment, where it's all been sort of outlined in black. These I've left a bit more kind of subtle, so again I've tried to give you a bit of a variety. This one I've made little bits sort of fluffy around the outside edge. There's lots of bows going on with these bow molds everywhere, a little bit of patchwork cutters in here, lots of dotting tools because I'm obsessed with it, tiny decorations here, so you'll see the little tiny decorations that are in there, and then some of the heart sprinkles as well. We've got slightly different eyes on the heart one versus some of the other ones, so the birthday and the Easter egg one are different from the heart ones, just to give a bit of variety more than anything else. But because these eyes are quite big, you need several colours to be able to kind of fill in the whole eye. But I think that it actually works really well by using Again, you could use different colour eyes if you want to. You could do green ones or something if you particularly want to. There's all sorts of different things that you can do there with these bears. So the bears have been really sweet. I have embraced them fully, as you can clearly see. I haven't been able to stop making them since I decided to do bears. But the new ones today are these two here, which is the Easter egg ones. We have got the other ones in stock at the moment. So these are large Easter egg, so teddy with Easter egg, and small, or mini, I should say mini. The reason I say mini is because it fits on top of a cupcake. So if it says it's mini, then, and there's a cupcake involved, I think I've got one in here somewhere, yes I have, then it fits really nicely on top of a cupcake. These would be nice for, there you go, like that. So that fits on top of that, gives you a bit more perspective on what sort of size that they are. So there we go. So they are available separately, these two. So you will be able to buy the large one, the small one, or both, obviously, whichever it is you want to be able to do. Some of the cookie cutters are in sets. We've talked about this before. Sometimes there are reasons they have to be in sets for production, but these two are separate. Right, are you ready for one more? I know it seems like I'm constantly inventing new cookies, and you'd be absolutely right there, to be perfectly honest. But we are facing coronation shortly, so I have come up with a new one to celebrate coronation. I'm just needing this blue through now, and I've got yellow on my hands. I'm hoping this isn't going to go green, otherwise I might have something to say in a minute. In fact, I'm going to just wash my hands quickly, otherwise we may end up with a green thing. Let's get rid of that. That would not be good. It's a little bit tinged green, but we'll be fine. So we have so for Platinum Jubilee, I did bring out the Imperial Crown, which I know a lot of you did buy. There it is. Now that's the Imperial Crown. We've obviously had some more printed, so there are some available now because obviously we ran them right down, but we do now have some more printed. Now the tutorial for this crown is on my YouTube channel, so if you want to have a go at doing the crown, you will need to go to the YouTube channel to find it. So I'm going to put the address up for the YouTube channel now. We are actually streaming on YouTube at the moment as well, but the new one that we've got today is the Union Jack. So the Union Jack has now arrived. It is large only. There is not going to be a small version of this. I'm going to show you how to do one that's perhaps not as traditional looking as you would expect, but something a bit more softer that I think might be a bit more palatable maybe. Sometimes the red, white and blue can be a little bit harsh. So I'm going to show you more of a kind of I guess a bunting style type one. So here's one I made earlier. Let's just take some of the icing, and so you could just have the biscuits as they are. You don't even need to decorate them. So if you just want to make Union Jack biscuits, the pattern comes out really well decorating. But if you decide to make up, I don't know, treat boxes, or you're going to there's going to be lots and lots of street parties again, and we've already got lots of different things online that you can get to do with the coronation. So we've got coronation cake toppers, we have got the new Jubilee sprinkles, not Jubilee, coronation, get your, God, it's not Jubilee, Tracy, it's coronation. So we've got coronation sprinkles have now arrived onto the website as well. That's those. They are red, white and blue. So these have now arrived onto the website. You will be able to get that. Okay, so they've just appeared yesterday. So they're large red sprinkles and then white and blue. These will be great for cupcakes. So if you are making some cupcakes over that weekend for the big party or whatever it is on the Sunday, which I will be missing because I will be going on holiday that day, but very inconveniently he didn't let me know that it was going to be coronation that weekend. So I get to see the coronation and then I'm on holiday the following day, so never mind. I will make sure I have my coronation tea on the day, on the Saturday, in front of the television, so with all my bunting up. Right, so you're going to roll out pale blue. So I'm going to show you something slightly different. I just need to get rid of that. Rather than doing the harsh red, white and blue, I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So I'm going to pop that on there. Take hold of my cutter, pop it on, press it down. And then I'm going to flip it over. Those bits are going to fall off. Now what I need to do here is I need to make sure, this is very important, that I have all the markings that I need under here. So you're just going to go across here and press down. You'll see them appear as they come, as you press down. But I need them all. So make sure you catch them all. Turn it round. So we are not going to be doing a mini one of this. This is only the only size we're going to be doing. There's not suddenly going to be a mini one appearing. And that's because there's quite a lot of detail on these. And I think as a mini, it will just be too small. I think it'll be quite difficult to do. So I have made the crown toppers are back online, so that we had for Jubilee. They're now back. So we've also got a large cake topper if you're doing a cake topper for a party. Let me just check to see if I've got this. Yep. Okay, here it comes. So I've done this in pale blue. I'm going to pop that on top of there, like so. There we go. And you'll be looking at this going, why has she done it like this? Well, you'll see in a minute. So there we go. Right, let's pull this forward. And then we're going to mix up some colours. I'm going to try and work out if I did this in paintbrush 1, which I think I did. So let's clean that up first. I seem to have got yellow everywhere. So I'm going to just take out my cocoa butter and I'm just going to change it for some new cocoa butter because it seems to be dyeing absolutely everything yellow, which is not helping me. So the colours I've identified for this particular paint is rose pink and white. Those are the two colours that you're going to need here. Let's just clean this brush up. Like so. And we will start with the white because you need to do a couple of layers of white to get this to work. But again, it's painting by numbers, so everything is there for you to follow. So we'll take some white and we'll just mix it up. I'm trying to avoid that little bit of black that's in there so we don't end up with like a grey colour. And then all I'm going to do is just go along these bits here. Like so. You're probably thinking, well, why didn't you do it in white? You'll see in a minute why I didn't do it in white. You can do it in any colour, I guess, and then just paint over the top of it. But I found for what I was trying to achieve with this was the nicest, in my opinion, most edible and prettiest way of doing this particular cutter, because the Union Jack is quite strong. See, navy blue, if you want to paint it navy blue, you can. Or but you could do your navy blue icing and then just paint over the top. This side. I am obviously painting this at extremely high speed, so I do have one I did earlier that's slightly more one I actually concentrated on really well rather than this one, which is being rushed. But I want to do the white first because sometimes if you need to do a second layer of white, which sometimes you do, then I've got the option. So you can see with this brush here, it fits quite nicely in this gap. So I'm being able to pull the colour through really well. Let's turn it that way around. And then we'll go down this side. So coronation wise at the moment we have the Union Jack cookie cutter, we have the Imperial Crown. And then we also have all the cake toppers, so that will be, there's the King Charles III coronation one, there is the crowns, there are the Union Jacks as well, so there is a bit of variety in there, and I'm sure I'll add to it, plus the coronation sprinkles are now out, so there is a few little bits and pieces on there now, so if you want to get stocked up before we get that far, you are able to do that now. Okay, turn that. So I'm getting ever so close to this black. Let me just add a bit more paint in here, otherwise I'm going to end up dyeing this the wrong colour. So again, the idea behind this is to make up, and I will be making up a coronation, coronation, not jubilee, coronation treat box. So we're going to have, so I'm going to do one over the next couple of weeks, and you'll be able to see it with all the bits and pieces made on there. And I am going to include, and I leaned forward then to pick up what I wanted, and I realise it's around this side, this, which is also the FPC silicone mould that does contain a Union Jack and the crown, the imperial crown. And I'm going to do a cupcake that's going to be Prince Charles, King Charles on there, have that as a centre. So this is going to feature in that as well. So I have ordered again a limited number of these because obviously coronation's coming. So I do have this one in stock as well, which is the FPC Crown and Flag, it's called. You have to get it out every time there's a royal event. Well, I do anyway. There we go. Okay, so we've done that bit to start with then. What we're going to do is we're going to use our white and our pink, and we're going to make a nice pastel pink colour. Of course, I'm just regretting putting all that pink through that white just then, but never mind. We'll just do that. So we're going much softer. We're not going harsh on this. We're going for a nice soft looking cookie this here. So now in terms of cookie size, it's pretty similar to some of the other larger ones that we've done. It's 7 centimetres that way and 4 that way. So it's sort of our usual size. I bet it fits in those boxes. Do you know, I haven't checked, but I will check in a second. Some of those individual boxes that we've got as well. We've got red and we've got white ones, so I'll bet you they fit in there. We will do a test in a minute. This kind of Cath Kidston-y type look with this, I think, is quite nice. There's a bit more cocoa butter in there. Down that side. I've done quite a lot of painting today. It's been quite paint heavy today. Go. That's because it's the kind of weather you want to stay indoors and just paint, because it's not very nice outside. We don't have the snow, but it's very cold here. We've got away with it. But obviously, please bear in mind this week, if you are living up north, or you are, obviously we're waiting for some of our suppliers to get to us with our stock, that there may be some delays this week because of that. So if you are waiting for things, just please be patient. Can't often avoid it if it's coming from somewhere that's got some snow. And quite a lot of our suppliers are up north, and our cookie maker is from Scotland, so for sure they're going to get delayed. Okay, there we go. Right. Let me just, someone just questioned the size on this, and you're right, it is 10 by 7. And do you know why? I suddenly thought, do you know what? I think they might be right. 10 by 6 it is. And that is because I asked him, the guy who makes these, 10.5 by 6 it is. Sorry about that. It's 10.5 by 6, beg your pardon. Because I always say to him, just make them the same size, 7 centimetres, but he has, but he's done it across and not along. He's keeping me on my toes, you see, to keep an eye on him. Right, let's make some more white up here, as I managed to put pink all the way through it. Now the next bit took quite a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to skip to one I finished earlier so that you can see the full effect. Otherwise I'm going to be here forever. Well, not forever, but it took me a while. So then what I did is I then went with my blotting tool and put lots of spots all over the pink. I will update the website with the sizes so you can see what they are. Okay, so you can see what I'm up to here. So that is what I'm trying to do. Now I'm going to show you one I finished earlier. So that is what I did earlier to finish it. So I'm actually skipping finishing the rest of it because it did take quite a long time to do and I wanted you to be actually able to see it completed. So that's the idea that I've had with this, is to go for something a bit more kind of Cath Kidston, softer type look for a party. But there is no reason why, if you wanted to do this navy blue, white and red, that you would pick a colour like I probably suggest you pick navy blue sugar paste and maybe do the same way I've done, or you can cut the individual pieces out if you prefer to do it that way. When it comes to doing the white over the navy blue, you will have to do at least 2 or 3 layers to get it to cover, because obviously you're going onto a darker cover. You'll need to make sure as well that the paint is quite thick to make sure it actually does cover everything as well. So you can see on there we go. Yeah, it's my Blue Peter moment there, that it does go on that. Now, in terms of the white boxes, I've got a feeling they're a tiny bit... Oh, no, they do fit. Well, hey, there we go. So if you wanted to put one in a box, one of our little boxes, they do fit exactly. It's not going anywhere. So if you do wanted to make some in boxes, we've got white boxes and we've got red boxes. So if you wanted to put one in there, you can. There's a little bit of shredded paper at the bottom there. So I've just pulled the rabbit out of there so that he can fit in there. But that's certainly something that will fit in there quite nicely. So if you do want to put one in there, you can. I do say to the man when we're making things, it's to fit this size box and various things. So we must have been on the right track somewhere, you know. There we go. So that is the Union Jack. There it is. Let's put it there. That's the Union Jack cookie cutter. So that's one of the new ones today, along with the Easter teddy. There he is. The Easter teddies that we've got there. All right. The other one I wanted to point out, oh, and then obviously the Jubilee sprinkle, not Jubilee, Tracey, Coronation sprinkles even, which I've put in there so you can see those. The other mould I wanted to point out before we finish today, apart from obviously the Imperial Crown, I put on one of my posts this week about the gardening cupcakes. And so I just wanted to remind everyone, this mould here, because as we're going into gardening season, is the one with all the secateurs and the little flower pots and all these bits and pieces on there, is a really, really sweet mould. It's an FPC mould and we do have this in stock. It was appeared, I think, on my Instagram earlier this week. Excuse me. And then, so if you wanted to have a go at making a gardening type one, this little mould here is available. Okay. Excuse me, that all went down the wrong hole. Right, let's leave you for that for a minute. Right, I'm still alive, that's good. That's a bonus, isn't it? Right, okay, so thank you very much for joining me this morning. I know we've been a bit earlier because I was supposed to be going out for lunch, but actually now I'm going out later, so that's fine. Let me just recap again for some of the bits and pieces that we've gone through. So we talked this morning about the new classes. So we have got the woodland scene painting one has now come out this morning. So if you would like to sign up for that class, please go to the Cake School page to sign up for our classes. They're not available on Let's Shop. They are available on the Cake School site. So the woodland painting scene one, which I had in my hand, there it is this one here. There we go. So we're now starting scenery painting. So if you fancy having a go at that one, it's available today. The cost is £25, or you can join as a monthly member on gold or silver membership. So it's £12.50 a month or £10 a month, depending what access levels you want. Just going back to the membership as well, you are not obliged to stay for a long time. There's no contract there. So if you join for 1 month, that's great, and then you want to leave, that's fine. But if you want to stay on, obviously there's lots of other courses that you can do, and it's quite a nice way to be able to have access to lots and lots of different things. And then in 2 weeks' time, we have the cartoon cake coming out. So this one is out in 2 weeks' time, and that's another brand new class. So if you want to sign up for this one, it's £20 to join it, or you can again become a member, but you will need to become a member as Gold or Sugarcraft. So it falls under those two categories there. So either of those two, Gold or Sugarcraft, for that. And then back to Let's Shop. There we go. Let's take that down. Got that. Today we have had, where's my piece of paper gone? I put it somewhere. We've had a look at the patchwork cutters. We looked at the teddy plaque. We looked at Teddy Bear's Picnic, and we looked at balloons as well. And I painted a very nice plaque, which again I'll put on Let's Shop so you can see it later on. So if you missed that, once the live's over anyway, you will be able to go back and watch it either here or on YouTube. So it's entirely up to you, whichever you find easier to do. We also talked about the TikTok videos that I'm now making to help you to make your cookie cutters as a reminder, because sometimes people say to me, I'm going to make the teddy this week, which edition of Let's Shop is it on? Well, I will now be sending you to TikTok to go, it's on there, go and look on there, and you will see a picture of these cookies. Not all of them, I just want to point that out there as well. Not every single one will get this treatment, but at the moment we have got quite a lot of them on there so you can see how to do things. So if you do download that app called TikTok, you will be able to follow us on there and see some of the videos, and they're meant to help you. So you don't have to look at anything else on TikTok, but if you just follow us on TikTok, when we put new videos up, you will be able to see some of the bits and pieces that we have been making on there as well. Then we've got the new cookie cutters today, which is of course the teddy with the Easter egg and the Union Jack all ready for coronation. We've also got the Jubilee sprinkles, and then we've still got the bow mould and also the little hand mould that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. They're all still available as well. And on top of that, we also have a huge range of Easter chocolate moulds, which I haven't even had time to look at yet this year, but they are all on Let's Shop now. So they've all been moved to Let's Shop, and you will find all the little Easter decorations on there, the Easter lollipop moulds, and we have Easter lollipop sticks as well. So if you are thinking of making a few chocolate bits and pieces for Easter, everything is available on there as well. We have the golden egg kit. I think we've only got 4 left now. So if anybody wants the golden egg kit, which is the mould, the Wonder Dust and the chocolate, there are only 4 left now. So if you do want one of those, then do be quick, because I don't think they're going to last much longer. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any more moulds, so they are available only as a kit. But if you do want one, then do please go ahead and have a look at those. All right, so I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I won't be here next weekend because it is Mother's Day weekend, and I've got some cupcake bouquets to do, quite a lot of cupcake bouquets to do. So we'll be busy getting those out. So we will give you a date shortly as to when I'll be live again, but I expect it'll probably be in 2 weeks' time. And we're back again with some more ideas for you for we'll still be going into Easter mode at that point. So Easter will still be on its way. So we'll still continue to have a look at that, I suspect. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me, especially as it was a little bit earlier this morning. Thank you, Nikki, for helping me put up lots of links for me. It's really helpful. I do appreciate it. It's very lovely. It's my little online PA. I have been to see Kelly's. For those of you that know my daughter Kelly, I went to see her in the Netherlands this weekend, and she is thriving. So she's very happy, and I'm happy she's happy. Sometimes anyway. No, I am happy she's happy. So it's all lovely. She's very settled in the Netherlands now. So Kelly is living out in there. So I'll be having to go back out on another flight to see her. But yeah, she's very happy. So thank you all very much. Have a lovely weekend. Don't forget to go shopping and have a look on letsshopcakelive.co.uk. All the cake score.